Hello and welcome into a new episode of Pat's Latest. I'm your host, Mike Gambardella, and today we look at the true reason why Josh McDaniels was after this specific third round wide receiver, a look at who the Patriots could be naming a captain under first year head coach Mike Vrabel, and if the Pats actually had a miss in a declined draft day deal. Before we get started, make sure you go down and subscribe for the channel. Get in the comments and let us know who you think the Patriots should put the C on for 2025 and be the leaders of this unit under Mike Vrabel. Make sure you go back and check out our old episodes after today. And as always, give us a like if you like what you hear. We start today looking at the true reason why Kyle Williams potentially was that targeted player in the third round. And if Josh McDaniels had any say in it, it now becomes clear because now we find that Kyle Williams was a high school quarterback. And we know the pedigree with guys like Julian Edelman, Jacoby Myers, those who just seem to be successful in Josh McDaniels' system are those former signal callers who make the transition to wide receiver. Guys who are able to see the field a little bit differently, guys who understand complex route trees, who understand motions and systems. Josh McDaniels plays that to a T, and Kyle Williams is the type of player who absolutely can fit that mold, which he'd be looking at. And Kyle Williams was quick to own that as he's gone through the media rounds here with the Patriots and actually said he had no interest in not being a quarterback. And it took his high school coach to convince him that his future was not as a quarterback and was as a wide receiver. And if you look at any of his numbers from Washington State, you can see exactly why that move was made. Kyle Williams actually reflected on the decision and was quoted as saying, "You understand why you have to be there when talking about what it means to be a quarterback, then become a wide receiver, and the perspective that you get for it." He remarked that really, as a receiver, a lot of us want to understand the why. So, being a quarterback and making the transition, I understand the why, and the why everything has to be a certain depth, or you have to be a certain zone or a split because everything opens up something else. And that is exactly Josh McDaniels' system. So the fact that a third round rookie is already having a leg up on even guys like Stephon Diggs or Pop Douglas, who is assumed to be a starter in this offense, expect Kyle Williams to challenge and immediately step in as a guy who can easily play at least 10 snaps per game. Throwing in Mac Hollins, obviously, as well, and then figuring out whether it be Javon Baker, Jalen Polk, Kayshon Boutte, Kendrick Bourne. It is a deep wide receiver room, but I think what this does is further cement Kyle Williams as a player that could truly make an impact as a rookie from day one with the New England Patriots. Mike Vrabel was quick to clean house on the captain side of things, most recently with Joe Cardona also being released. But it does, quote unquote, prime Drake May to step up and earn that seat on his chest as a captain underneath Mike Vrabel. And it's fair to wonder who else could actually be joining him. Obviously, Jabril Peppers had it last year and could be that guy yet again. Kyle Duggar now actually as one of the elder statesmen on this team would make sense if looking at somebody on the back end. You might be quick to look at someone like Christian Gonzalez, but as a more soft-spoken player, maybe not ready to take that on quite yet. A player who might actually be up for the task is the big money man in free agency, Milton Williams. He was quoted as saying, "I'm trying to, quote unquote, lead by example." He said, "Hopefully the guys will see me working and they'll want to follow suit, trying to bring everyone along to what we're trying to build here." And you're hearing this from a lot of guys. And do not be surprised to see a lot of new faces as captains for this team because it really is an entirely new team. So players like Morgan Moses, who is a veteran free agent and likely stepping in on that right side of the line and solidifying things as a prime voice, would not be surprising. Two other names who are new that have been captains elsewhere and carry a lot of weight in the locker room: Mac Hollins, who actually everyone seems to love. And while he might be a little bit outside the box, yes, he still refuses to wear shoes even when it's 10 degrees outside. He's a guy that everyone respects and can further the message if needed. Another name to watch is Robert Spillane, the high energy linebacker. Absolutely would kind of carry the torch for Mike Vrabel and be a guy that could do that. But again, would be surprising because these are new guys to the system. But when the head coach is new and half the starters on both sides of the ball might be new as well, it's not that far out of the realm of possibility. One name to keep an eye on that is a holdover and absolutely deserves the C would be Hunter Henry, and a guy that I think absolutely should get it. And again, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, but fair to wonder who Mike Vrabel sees as the leader on this team and who he's going to lean on to bring his message forward. The last one to keep an eye on is number 4 overall pick, Will Campbell. And yes, while a 22-year-old tackle coming out of the NFL draft might be surprising, the fact that he has acquitted himself so well and seemingly says all the right things when you come out and say on stage in front of hundreds of thousands of people at the NFL draft that are willing to fight and die, well, I think the guy gets the message. So, again, don't be surprised if it comes to fruition, but I think at the very least, sets the Patriots up well for the future. Some sad news coming across as we've taken stock of the off-season voluntary program and some missing and absentees, and Ramondre Stevenson unfortunately not there. We had uncovered that last season he had lost a childhood friend, Brandon Harley, last season and had to kind of fight through that. Something else that we really didn't know was going on behind the scenes, and unfortunately we've recently learned that Ramondre's father, Robert, has passed away this past March at the age of 54. So, thoughts and prayers with Ramondre Stevenson and his family, and just hope that he is able to get back out there as soon as possible and return to the things that he loves doing. Additionally, this probably sheds some light onto a additional signing that the Patriots did make with the recent absences, signing veteran Travion Williams to the backfield. The veteran running back got a 1-year deal last Wednesday and was a little surprising, especially with Travion Henderson into the fold, but now kind of explains the additional depth needed at the position and getting the proper reps through, not to tire anyone out too much up front and distribute that work across the board. But again, Travion gets an opportunity here to show out with a new coaching staff. But again, thoughts and prayers with Ramondre Stevenson and his family, and hopefully see you out there very, very soon. Finally, we look at if the Patriots have actually made a mistake. We talked about yesterday how the Chicago Bears called up to potentially acquire the number 38 overall pick, and reportedly they were after Travion Henderson. So the Patriots may have had to give up Henderson. The Bears were willing to move up one spot. Patriots went 38 to 39 and actually picked up a 7th rounder to do so. For me, that's absolutely not worth it at all. It seemed on Forged and Foxborough, the new YouTube show by the New England Patriots, that they quickly thought about it before saying no. But it was the different proposal that caught my eye. While the team was not mentioned, it could have been the Houston Texans. The Patriots reportedly turned down a deal that would have traded the 38th pick and probably taken them out of position to draft Travion Henderson. It would have dropped them about 20 spots to number 58, but it would have picked up number 79 overall in the draft, as well as a 2025 third rounder. That is a hefty bounty in a draft that was fairly equal, let's say, once you got past the top stars of the first round. That said, where the running backs in this draft kind of shook out, I think the Patriots may have made the right call especially with how they are valuing Travion Henderson. This is not a guy that they're kind of adding to the mix and seeing what they might give you in a year or two. It seems like he absolutely will start as a third down back and be given the opportunity to potentially dominate some work in this backfield, at least in a 1A, 1B setting. That said, picking up a 58, 79, and third rounder, that's potentially three guys they could have added. The fact that the Patriots were able to move around the board so well in the third round, moving up and down, and getting players like Jared Wilson for lower in those spots, kind of moving around back of 79 and into the third, it makes it more palatable. I don't want to say that it was a mistake, and I think absolutely will not be once they get Travion Henderson out onto the field. But I think if you had actually taken it at face value, and especially if whoever that team was didn't take Travion Henderson, and if it was more of a in the trenches type player, you could absolutely say the Patriots would have made the right move by acquiring more draft assets at that point. But I think the fact that they were able to go out and say, look, let's absolutely start to back up Drake May and put even more talent around him, even though the trade assets may have swung the other side to say that was the winning side, I think the player makes the difference here, and Travion Henderson gives the win to the Patriots in this declined trade. That'll do it for us on this episode of Pat's Latest. Again, make sure you go down and subscribe for the channel. Get in the comments and let us know what you think about that decline trade and who the Patriots should actually pick for their captains coming up here. We'll continue to have everything on the New England Patriots coming out of Foxborough here for you. But again, make sure you go down and subscribe for that channel, give us a like, and go back and check out all of our previous episodes to make sure you're caught up on everything Patriots. Fight on, Foxborough.